What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Chevy, you want to say hello?
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Chevy, we're back. It
We're
is
back.
another Styles and Chevy recap. It's been a little bit. I think we've been away for a few months now, a couple months.
Yep.
Yeah, so we're back. We're going to be reviewing Marvel's Secret Invasion. Going to be talking about the new show, what's going on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then later on we'll get into what else is going on in movie land and all that good stuff. So yeah, I think we've skipped a couple of things since the last movie because I think we did Wakanda Forever. Did we do Ant-Man? I think we might have talked
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So we've had quite a few um, movies that have gone by, and now we've finally got another MCU television show to kind of keep us busy until the next movie comes along, and it's starring Nick Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. So used to him being Nick Fury. So it's Secret Invasion. We actually have quite a few old faces in this one, including Kobe Smothers as Maria Hill from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Avengers, and a couple other shows, as well as Ben Mendelsohn back as Talos. And now we have Amelia Clark playing Gaia, and what's his name? Ben Kingsley Adair playing Gravik. So yeah, some great actors and great story, or building up to be a great story. We're definitely going to talk about that tonight, and get our take on that. So let's get right to it. The show is Secret Invasion, and it's based on a big Marvel property that was basically like a crossover event. And the main antagonist in the series was the Skrulls, and it's true in the MCU as well. The Skrulls are shape-shifting aliens who can take the form of anyone that they come across, and even take some of the memories of people that they touch. So it's going to be interesting to see who's real and who's not. What up,
Very
though,
true.
Clark? Appreciate you showing up, bro.
Hey Devin.
So the from a spoiler-free review, what did you think of the first episode of Marvel's Secret Invasion?
Like a 6.5,
Okay.
7,
Oh,
six and a
okay.
half, 6.5.
6.5. Okay, okay. All right. Were you like surprised by who showed up in it, or were you already kind of anticipating some folks that were going to show up in it, and who was going to be uh, basically replaced?
I really didn't have any expectations, so
Okay.
I was just. I mean, honestly, I just thought the first episode was really slow.
Okay.
It was really slow, and I didn't like some choices that they made at the end.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah. The ending and the beginning definitely had some surprises for me in terms of like what I was expecting, as well as like you said, how I anticipated the pace to be, especially because this is only a 6 episode series, right? And I just assumed it was going to be a bit more fast paced. I mean, there was some movement, in terms of the plot, but it's still, like you said, the pace of it still felt a bit slow. There was a lot of exposition. They definitely did, I think, a good job of kind of setting up what this was, in terms of what they think is going on and what everybody is trying to do. Who's the movers, who's the players in the game. But for this to be 6 episodes, I think what it made me feel like is that there's not going to be a big, huge revelation. until probably midway or closer to the end, as well as I definitely am not. From the last couple of movies and the last show that we've had is that what I've begun to anticipate is that there's not going to be like some amazing thing happening all of a sudden in the beginning, nor is there going to be some type of ground moving, thing happening in this series that's going to make it change something for the next movie or TV show coming out. So, that's one thing about Marvel. They're going to pace this. They have so many more TV shows, so many more movies coming out. They're definitely going to take their time. It was the mistake that DC made, right? Moving things way too fast, but sometimes I think it can kind of lose folks on the way the MCU does it in terms of sometimes it could also move too slow, right? I also gave it a six and a half. I did enjoy seeing some old faces in it. I wanted a little bit more out of Nick Fury and Maria Hill. I wanted a little bit more out of them. I definitely didn't anticipate some of the things that were revealed. And then just the way that they were doing things, the scrolls, how they were doing things. There was a little bit of a shock to me, though I was kind of anticipating it being this way, but it was a little bit of a shock. So their whole plan and the way they're doing things definitely made me feel like, there was there's a bigger thing going on than I anticipated. Sonny says, "Hey guys, I didn't watch it yet. Got caught up. Got to watch it this weekend. Yeah, make sure you watch it, Sonny. New episode dropped today, episode 2. I don't know if the previews of the or not the previews, but like the banners and the posters of the reviews that I saw on YouTube today are any anticipation of what we could expect in episode 2. But it seems like there's some bigger thing going on in episode 2 that is going to be again not anticipated. So this is the one thing I am excited for with this series is the constant anticipation of what's next, because you never know what's next.
This is true. I already watched it.
You
So
already
yeah.
watched it? Okay, okay. What up, though, Smooth? Smooth says, Chevy.
Hey, Smooth. Hey, Sunny.
What up, though? Appreciate y'all showing up. So let's get to it. Spoiler recap. All right. So Secret Invasion started off with us being reintroduced to our good friend Everett Ross, who's been in several different movies, and I feel like he was in one of the TV shows as well. Possibly was it the Captain
It
America one?
was.
He was in both of the Black Panthers. He was in Captain America, I believe, and I think he was in was he in Winter Soldier? Or I keep wanting to call it Captain America and Winter Soldier.
I
Falcon and
think
Winter
he
Soldier.
was a Winter Soldier.
Yeah, because most of those were Cap based and Black Panther based. So yeah, so he's been in several different projects. He was just in one of the more recent shows. Oh yeah, he was definitely in there because he had the back and forth with Val in
Yeah.
that show. So yeah, so we have just recently seen him. So he goes to go visit one of the operatives, who happens to be another Game of Thrones alumni, the guy that played Beric Dondarrion, and I can never remember his real name, but he's a great actor. He definitely nailed the role of the paranoid, sleeper agent, and he had some information for him. What did you think of that scene, all the way from their interaction, all the way to the chase, and then the reveal?
I was just like, something is not right. I was
Mhm.
like, obviously, they want us to not remember what we're watching here
Mhm.
uh, from the beginning. But as the scene progresses, like something's not right. So by the end of the scene, before the chase started to happen, you kind of got the feeling that I don't think this is who he is.
Hmm.
As the chase progresses, you're like, he's definitely not who he is. But then it didn't change the emotions you felt when he jumped off that roof, because you was like,
Oh,
oh my God, I know he wouldn't do that. But then
yeah.
you saw him down there, and you was like, oh, thank goodness that wasn't him, because you had me second guessing myself for a second. Like,
Right, right. Now, during the conversation between Ross and I'm keep calling him Barry Tandarian because it was Agent Prescott. So between Prescott and Ross, um, like you said, you started to feel like something wasn't right. Um, I think for me, it took me all the way to almost the end of their conversation, and I think it was when he kind of scoffed at him at the end of it, and he kind of, just before he made that look on his face when Prescott handed him the information, the little tablet. It was just before that. It was something he said, and I just felt like, nah, Ross is always kind of more open and understanding of what's going on. He kind of has like he kind of knows that there's always something up. So I think I definitely felt like something was off. But then again, I was like, well, Prescott is a little crazy. But then once Ross gave that look, I was like, oh, wait a minute, like this can't be. Is Ross replaced? Like this is crazy. So I think I was like definitely not shocked at that point, but I was shocked just before that. Like, oh my God, this can't be. They couldn't have replaced Ross, right? And I think a little jump ahead on the spoiler is that what I was feeling like was like I just don't want Ross to be dead, right? I don't want them to have taken Ross and killed him or something, and then
like that,
yeah, exactly.
when he was such a pivotal part, just in the one of the, not the last, but within the last year of Marvel films that was released. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, exactly. So, like you said, the chase, coming to a close with that building drop. That it was still, like you said, it was still shocking because you're still not 100% sure, and then it happened, and it's like, oh my God, like but then like yeah, it was that bit of relief, like okay, this wasn't him. But then what I thought about, and I don't know if you thought about this. We literally just saw this man get arrested, not arrested, but get yeah, I guess he was arrested, and then he was rescued by the what do they call themselves? Not the Flying Angels. Uh,
Oh, the blue people. I mean the what, the Dora Milaje in the blue suits.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. So the Dora Milaje pulled up on him, picked him up, and took him out of there. I'm like, that's right. He's in Wakanda. Like, and so that's the crazy part is like who, did Val not tell anybody that she had Ross arrested, or did she possibly let them know that he was arrested, but then also escaped? But then like, why are they letting him do missions, right? So it was like, okay, now it makes sense. Like, okay, he's not replaced. He's probably just doing his thing. What up, though, Jim Animal? Appreciate you joining, bro. Um, he's probably in Wakanda doing his thing, so I'm not too worried about Ross now. But it was still like like you said, that moment of like, oh my God, I hope they haven't killed off our boy Ross.
Yeah,
And
but it was also like this feeling of like, oh hell no, this is crazy. What is
mhm.
they doing? They got the audacity to be Ross walking around. Like, what is going on? Are they invasion of the body snatchers now? Like, what's happening? Like,
Exactly. And that was the thing, and that's why I was like a little worried about him at first because I'm like, oh shoot. As a matter of fact, I didn't think about it until the next day after watching it about the fact that Ross should be in Wakanda. But that first day, I'm like, oh my God, if they done killed my boy Ross off, or they done took his body over. What's going on? I mean, by the end of the episode, I was like, well, maybe he's in that room. I don't know. So I was a little afraid for Ross. You know, Maria Hill was definitely shook, for a second there until she realized it wasn't really him. And then, we found out that the person that was chasing after him was Talos. And so it was like, okay, the team has it under control
I
now.
wasn't relieved. After that, I just thought everybody was nobody. I thought everybody was somebody else. I was like, that's not. Wait a minute. Oh, that's not Maria either. Then. Well, oh, maybe it is. Well,
Right,
it
right.
definitely was.
It definitely was.
I wish it
R.I.P.
wasn't.
Maria Hill.
I did wish it wasn't.
I know, right, right. Definitely, that definitely had me shook. I'm sorry, folks. We jumped straight to the end with that one, but I still shook by that because that's my girl. She's been
They did
around
her
since day
dirty.
one.
They did her dirty.
Super dirty, super dirty. And they ain't
I'm
gonna
glad
hit
you
me.
came
They
back
ain't gonna hit
though.
us with a special guest star, Kobe Smothers. I'm like, bro.
She could have stayed at home for that.
Right, right. So we got to see Nick Fury come back home to Earth. At first I was like, dang, did they make him old or something? He just came down, he all limping, I was like, oh yeah, he has been on a space station, so the gravity there is probably a lot lower, so he probably limping from that. But it's still Samuel L. Jackson, right? That man is like in his mid 70s, and the way they base the timeline, Nick Fury is basically in his 70s. So we definitely get to see a more weathered Nick Fury. No patch Nick Fury though. What did you think of that?
I said he tired. I said he's so tired he don't even want to put his eye patch on.
Not even, not even. He definitely was like, I'm coming business casual.
He said, I'm coming 1738. The Fetty Wap. Like,
Right, right. So yeah, so he shows up. He does his reunion with Talos. He does the reunion with Maria Hill. Then he has an impromptu reunion with Sonya Falsworth, who I don't think we've actually seen before in the MCU. But she's the daughter of Union Jack, and who was one of the Howling Commandos with Captain America. And she's basically like MI6, head of MI6, basically the counterpart to Val, because she's got that same kind of energy where she's like, we cool, but I'll also kill you. So she had him abducted so that she could have that conversation with him and kind of give her take on what's going on with the Skrulls. And I think that all along during this time period in the show, like you said, one, Nick is tired, right? And then you got Talos, who is tired as well, but for a whole different reason. The whole premise of this is that it's been 30 years. They've been waiting on a new planet, and they haven't seen any movement. We know Captain Marvel has been MIA for the last 5 years, or well, after the blip. Nick Fury has been MIA since the blip back. And so the Skrulls they're like, hey, we fed up. Y'all supposed to have been doing something for us, and y'all ain't doing nothing. So the premise of this beef that they have. How do you feel about that? And what's your take on their method of getting what they want?
so I have a lot to say about this, honestly, because this is what was confusing me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so first of all, Nick Fury was weird, so I kept thinking he wasn't who he was. Because Nick Fury is softer. He seems kinder. He seems, you know, like I said, tired, but he also seemed like he found love,
Mm.
but with a scroll. And I'm like, what? So that's something that I noticed. But
Okay.
also, you know, who would wait around for 30 years for somebody to help them?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I didn't understand like how you could wait around for that, but then also crucify the person who tried to help you, but then also blame them for being disappeared for 5 years when they did not have no control over that.
Yeah.
And then you see the new leader and you see that he's young, and it's like, oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Because what do he know?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like uh Namor.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Good comparison. Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
really don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get how you could now want to destroy the in the meantime, in between time home, because you mad at one singular person for not finding you a home.
Yeah.
It does not make
Yeah.
sense.
Well, oh yeah, I feel you. I feel you. I mean, you know, I think this goes back to we just need to blame Captain Marvel. I mean, this is all her fault, to be honest. You know what I mean? Nick Fury can't go out and find you a planet. Captain Marvel has that capability, though. And you know who else doesn't like Captain Marvel? Monica Rambeau. you know, who
But
also felt abandoned for
I
30
think that
years,
it's
even though she
just
was
like
blipped.
this whole thing of them not knowing that theoretically that was going to be harder than just the words that were coming out of their mouths in the 80s. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
because you have the power does not mean can you can find all the planets, but if none of them are just like Earth, because it seems like they can thrive in a planet like Earth,
Yeah.
then they can't thrive there. She probably has found hundreds of thousands of millions of planets in the meantime of being stopped constantly to help others and
Hmm.
stop wars in this country or not country, but this planet. Let's just keep it 100.
Right. Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like to it was a naive concept then,
Hmm.
but it was cute.
Right.
It's still a naive concept now,
Hmm.
but it's dangerous
Yeah.
because you got to think about the fact that kids were told this 30 years ago and now they
Hmm.
grown and now they mad. The adults get it. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
even when you saw the people that was at that place, a lot of them were young.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like I just don't get how at no point, even though Talos was their leader and blah 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 blah, nobody ever said, "Hey, maybe I should take this into my own hands. Maybe
Right.
I should try to call somebody. Maybe I should try to do something." I don't know. It just seems real weird and it seems really like I'm blaming this all on you and that's because I can't solve the problem myself. I don't know. It just seems weird to destroy someone else's planet because, and it's very telling about who the Skrulls really are. They are
Yeah.
bad guys. They're not good guys. They're bad
Mhm.
guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is that your answer?
Right. Right. But but I think what you've definitely just described is the fact that the girls have turned into entitled millennials. it's like, and it's like they basically have this thing of like you said, I deserve this. Why haven't you gotten it for me yet? And I don't think that it's like you said, I don't think that it's totally on Nick Fury and Captain Marvel. It's on life, right? It's life. You run into issues. One, like I said, Nick Fury really didn't have the capabilities to do what he promised, and that's on Nick, right? He should have thought that through a little bit more before he made such a big promise. But I think he also naively made the promise only under the guise of if we can figure something out, we'll figure it out, right? And then to your point, they can't just drop them off on any planet because one, finding I'm about to say M-class planet. I'm about to throw my Star Trek lingo in here. Finding a Earth-like planet that's uninhabited. How do you just find that anywhere, right? Because more than likely, if a planet is going to be Earth-like, it's going to more than likely have humanoid beings on it or smart beings on it that already running things over there. So why not keep them where they are while you figure this out? Because you drop them off in the wrong planet, they're just going to get annihilated anyway, right?
Or be fighting a forever war or whatever
Ex-
the case may be. And what's the point of that?
exactly,
When you shouldn't have
exactly.
to uproot of someone else for someone else to live.
Hmm. Yeah. So I think that the whole idea that they were responsible for your ultimate livelihood is kind of like you said. It's selfish. It's entitled. And it's childish. To be honest. But like you said, some of the older ones. They understood that just either one is going to take time, or that it's going to be something that's going to be almost, I won't say impossible, but it's going to be more challenging, than what was originally thought. They were definitely lucky that they found allies here on this planet and were able to, get the assistance that they needed in order to blend in, make a way and all that kind of thing. So keep blending in, keep doing your thing. Not to say that they have to give up on their dream of having their own place again, but they just have to keep in mind that it's not as easy as it seems. Now, going back to Captain Marvel, I'm going to once again put some little onus on her, is that yeah, although you can see all these different planets end up running into these different things, I still feel like she got distracted.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, even with her statement in I don't know if that was the Shang-Chi movie or if it was one of the other movies recently when she was part of that council and somebody pointed her out and she's like, hey, there's other planets on the other galaxies that need my help. And it's like, yeah, but you are out there doing this and you're distracted. You're doing all this stuff for these other people in these other places. And so you're distracted from your original goal, which was to go out and find them a new place.
But it's like starting a business without writing a business plan first.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
They didn't even know what they were doing. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? That was Nick Fury's first experience with running into something like that. So what they
Hmm.
secretly started was just like, hey, I found this super lady, right? She gonna go be super out here in space because she's super, super like crazy, super so to the point where if she hears somebody piss her off, she'll blow up the whole planet. So we really don't want her here. Let's
Right.
just be honest. We really don't want her here.
Right.
So I, being Nuke Fury, then came up with a plan to keep her away from here. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And she think we doing this together, but it's really the other lay for the other play because I don't want her here. So I'm putting
Right.
her all the way out here with this secret mission that we don't talk about, we don't discuss. This is her only mission. I know she's driven in such a way that she literally forgot who she was.
Hmm.
So this is going to be her driving force. She's not going to ask questions. She's not, because let's be honest, did she heal before she left? Did
No.
she work on herself before she left? Did she break those chains of the bondage that she was in all those years by those people that manipulated her with mind control to believe that she was somebody else?
Right.
No. So all he did was give her another mission and another goal that she could now hold on to, like she had been doing for all of those years when she didn't have a memory, but she
Right.
had goal tasks and daily
Hmm.
chores and things she had to do every day that was given to her. And all he did was give her another one and say, but this is a good one. So
Right.
go do
Right.
this for them. And if you need me, call me. I mean,
Mm.
no, if I need you,
I'll
I'll
call
call
you.
you.
Hmm. Like, don't call me. I'll call you. That's a good. Now you definitely got it. You definitely that great point because I definitely didn't think about it like that. The fact that yeah, he definitely sent her off and literally told her don't come back until I call you. There's no reason for you to be back here, and that was. Like you said, it was definitely an ulterior motive to that. That's a great point. I never thought about it like that, and definitely makes more sense now, right? In the grander scheme of things in the MCU. So no, that's man, that's a huge point. That's a huge point.
I
So and
mean,
and, and then without the scrolls knowing this, they're in the dark about it. Now that they have this, uh, uh, this beef that has no grounds.
yep. And also, it's not like y'all got. It's not like something happened to y'all like what happened to the people in like Green Lantern where they was just out there destroying planets and people was just
Hmm.
coming around, or like what the Kree was going around doing, or like what
Hmm.
Darth Vader was going around doing. Y'all
Hmm.
did that to yourselves. So point frankly, y'all cannot coexist with another group of people unless they know y'all don't exist.
Hmm.
Because first of all, y'all can take on the forms of other beings. Then on top of that, y'all got people in y'all group that are not good.
Hmm.
So it's like, who can govern you other than yourselves?
Right.
Can you even govern yourselves? I mean,
Good
you know what
point.
I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like to blame somebody else for why you don't have a home, and then because I mean they seem like they just a naive bunch of people.
Mhm.
Because even when Telos kept saying, "You left me," he didn't do it by choice, you idiot.
Right.
Was y'all not there? Y'all was there.
Right.
He
Y'all,
told
they
y'all to get
understand. They understood the blip. Right. They understood the blip.
Don't be talking to me like I just said, well, I'm gonna take a 5-year vacation to a
Hmm.
place where I don't know how to get back from. Are y'all stupid?
Right, right. And honestly, I mean, with the timeline of this show, he's only been gone, in outer space for like what, like a year or so. So he ain't been gone that long.
Yeah, so I don't know because it looked like he tried to take the mission in his own hands when he
Hmm.
saw that Captain Marvel got she on this. Now she the committee of the universe. Let
Hmm.
me try to find these people a home because now I've been gone for 5 years. It's been 25 years. These people gonna kill me.
Right, right, right. Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely was it's definitely a wake up call to like you said to what who they really are and what they really are. But it's you know there's that split, right? There's the radicalized ones, Gravik and his people, his soldiers, the people on the council, and then you have everybody else who's just trying to live life. They're just like, hey, we just want to have a good time, be scrolls, and live life, right? So you definitely have that split there. It sounds like it's not a 50-50 thing. It's definitely like a very small group, maybe 100 or so, and then you have the other 400 or 500 that are just trying to live life. So I think that's the other thing too, is like, but to your point, that just still proves that, are you able to govern yourselves, or do you need somebody just to kind of watch out for you.
Yeah.
um
And also, I'll say one more thing about this
mhm.
part of the show. If it's one thing that we know about Nick Fury and we have learned about Nick Fury over the years, is that we really like him because he's Samuel L. Jackson.
Right, right.
He is the king of the underlay for the overplay. He is
Mhm.
the king of roping you into something that was you thought it was one thing, but he always had another plan. He is not honest. He has never been honest because he always holding a bomb and holding a piece of candy. Like he always got two things that's just like, okay, if I tell him about this, then I got to tell her about that. I mean, let's remember the whole time Tony Stark daddy was dead, was murdered by Bucky. He knew.
Yeah, he did know the whole time.
He
Yeah.
knew before he came to him and said, be an Avenger.
Right,
Come
right.
on. Like, nobody actually likes Nick Fury. We just like him because he's Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
We actually don't like him.
Yeah, no, that's another great point. Another great point. This is why you're on this show, because you got all the great points. Because ain't no way. But no, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. He's definitely always got an ulterior motive. He's always, I mean, he's 3 steps ahead all the time, right? Because he knows all the information, right? This is the first time in his life in this scenario that he doesn't have all the information. He doesn't know all the plays. He barely knows the players. So he does know who Gravik is. He's met Gravik before in the past. But of course, Gravik was much younger. And all those scrolls live, hundreds of years. Most of these scrolls are very young. Even Talos mentioned that, at 146, he's middle age. So it's definitely telling that, most of these scrolls are very young. And so, he's dealing with some people who are unpredictable. And, he's trying to figure out what their ultimate goal is and how to best to stop them. But when they're wearing everybody else's faces, that makes it a whole lot harder.
Yeah.
After he talked to Sonya Farnsworth, they finally got, he I think he did planted the bug, was able to hear about, more about the bombs that they were looking out for, trying to figure out where the actual scroll sleeper cell was at, and basically where Gravik's uh, uh, base of operations is, and then they started their sting on that. Um, you know, we got introduced to Gaia, as well as who's the older version of Talos's daughter, and I forgot who the guy was. She was introduced. She was showing around, but she had found the guy that was standing outside the gates. So she gave him a tour, essentially giving us a tour of the compound. And like I said, you got to see that these people, most of these people, are just there to
Because that's
live
where they
quietly.
yeah.
Yeah, but then we also got a glimpse into the resistance, right? And the soldiers, the Skrull soldiers, and how they were doing their operations. That was one of the kind of shocking things to me. Is like I knew from Captain Marvel rather movie that they could basically look at somebody and copy them. They could touch someone and not only copy them, but pick up their most recent memories. But now they have a machine similar to the one in Captain Marvel that the Kree were using that can now pull all the person's memories and capabilities, right? So you're talking not only are they, mimicking someone's face, but they're also impersonating someone's whole personality, demeanor, and everything. So that makes them definitely much more undetectable. We didn't get a good view of who all was in there, but it looked like it was quite a few people in that room that were being held captive. So, I mean, I don't know how long they hold them captive, but hopefully, those people can be brought back. But for the most part, they're replacing, pretty important people, people with, mid-level, and, higher level power. And, there's no telling who's a Skrull and who's not. Theories. Who do you theorize besides Everett Ross is a Skrull?
Well, I thought Samuel Jackson was one because he was acting weird. Like, man, very weird. Um, I can't call it. I don't know. Everybody,
Okay.
everybody,
Everybody.
everybody. I don't know.
Right. Well, apparently they're gonna be changing on the fly. I mean, you saw
Yeah,
Gravik.
he was just I was like, dang, that's so scary because most of the time when you watch a movie or a TV show or anything like that where you see somebody have to change into a person, the only other person you see change so effortlessly is probably a Mystique. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Yep.
it's scary that because there's only one of her that we know of because she's a
Hmm.
mutant and that's in her genealogy in her body. But it's a whole planet of these
Hmm.
people that can effortlessly change into other people at any moment in any time.
Hmm.
I just thought that was so freaking scary.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely. Look what happened to Maria Hill just because of that, right? She thought that was her friend. She thought Nick Fury was telling her to come here. She ran right into the arms and the bullet of Gravik, not realizing that that's who that was. I definitely feel like there's some folks in the White House. There's some folks
Yeah.
in maybe even one of our favorite superheroes may even be a Skrull. Because if they can pull out your memories and copy your capabilities, who knows? Who knows what kind of capabilities that they're mimicking? Especially for the fact that they're much stronger than humans.
Yeah,
You
because
know.
what I will say is this: Captain Marvel downplayed their strength.
Yes. Yes. Definitely did.
Downplayed their strength like a mug because I just thought they had the strength of humans because she was beating them down so bad. But
Hmm.
when you saw them two fight each other in
Right.
this show, I was like, "What the hell am it? What that?" See, I was confused because I was just like, "I don't remember that. I don't remember them
Right.
being this strong." Like,
Right.
because
Yeah.
I watch Captain Marvel all the time.
Hmm. Yeah. Definitely was shocking to see how strong they can be. What up, though, Chris? Appreciate you joining us, bro. Yeah, definitely shocked by how strong they are, how fast. I mean, I think we got a glimpse of how fast they were by in Captain Marvel movie, but yeah, their strength was definitely highly underrated there. And we definitely, can see that there's going to be some battles going on because they're not holding back. They're not holding back at all. The final part of the episode was going to I think it was the Unity Parade or the Unity Fair festival rather, and them tracking down Gaia and her team. She gave them the heads up that she was going to mark the bags, and I forgot to talk about that. The fact that Gaia, finally had her reunion with her dad, with Talos. and she found out about her mother, which was it was an off-screen death. And he mentioned that Gravik was responsible for whatever happened, the tragedy that happened that caused her death. We last saw Soren in one of the end credit scenes, impersonating Maria Hill, at the direction of Nick Fury. And so now she's gone. And so Talos, like I said, and I guess that lends to why Talos was so upset, why he's just basically tired and ready for this whole thing to be done. But it now has Gaia kind of rethinking her position, right, and her part in this resistance. So she decided to help them out a little bit and give them the heads up. Now
Do you
I
think
don't.
she helped? Really?
Well, I think what it was that she probably tried to, but then I think Gravik being one step ahead, he's almost as good as Nick. He's one step ahead, and I think he twisted that up and messed up that plan. So it just goes to show how smart Gravik is, and how much they're going to have to do a little bit more to get to get around him and figure this out. Now, how, I don't know. It's definitely going to be a Hail Mary pass for sure. So we have to see how that
Yeah.
works out.
But yeah, like, can you imagine a scroll being smart and being tactical and being whatever they are as themselves, and then going and replacing one of the biggest tactical army people or whomever,
Mhm.
whatever, and now they have all of that
Right.
knowledge in their head and can now be super strong and super smart
Hmm.
at the same time.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. They got to need some help with this one. I don't know. I think at this point, the way they're playing it out, Nick Fury is and the reason he's so different, and the reason he's so, it's the fact that he feels like he's responsible for some of the deaths, between Iron Man and Black Widow. He feels like he had failed at certain things. He feels like he's been through so much. I think that's what's definitely giving him this, what they call it, a crisis of faith, right? And he's so unsure of what could happen, and not being able to control it, right? Because he had no control, like you said, you mentioned earlier, he had no control over the snap. He had no control over the blip. He had no control over the deaths of his friends. He had no control over the dismantling of the Avengers, the downfall of Shield. There's so many things that have gone wrong. Although there's some things that have gone right, but I think he's seeing it from the picture of there's so many things that have gone wrong because he had no control, and he likes to have control.
But see, he never had control.
Right.
That's why he had to play people like he did. And I
Hmm.
truly believe if he didn't play on people like that, half of the stuff that happened wouldn't have happened in the first place.
Hmm. Good
Because he
point.
was
Good
never
point.
in control in the first place. He had to be 3-10 steps ahead because he had to know what somebody was gonna do. And that's why I think when you see that scene of him getting, he knew, like, I have not set these people up for success. I
Yeah.
have not set these people up to do this without me. I have
Hmm.
not, because I'm the one that's 10 steps ahead, because I'm the
Right.
human. So I
Right.
have to be.
Right.
I'm the one that got all the cards on the table. So I have to be, because I have to know what's going to happen when Tony starts find this out. I have to know what's going to happen when they find out that these people are over here, and when they find out that there's a Captain Marvel, and when they find
Right.
out this. So now that I'm gone, all of this stuff is about to come to head, and more bad things are going to happen because of
Right.
it.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely agree. I definitely agree. So yeah, and then the end scene of Maria Hill, walking into that bullet, it definitely was another stake in his thing of like, I'm not I'm not taking the proper steps, like you said, to save my people. Not taking the proper steps to keep this thing under control. I still don't have control over what's happening next. He thought he had it. He thought he had it together, and then Gravik showed him differently. So now he's like, dang, what do I do next, right? So I think this is his wake up call that he's got to figure something else out. But then I think that's also why he wants to do this thing by himself, because he wants to no longer hurt other people, no longer get other people involved, and not, like you said, set them up for success, as well as keep other people safe. So I think that's kind of the reason why he's kind of taking that stance going forward in the next few episodes.
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, episode 1 in the books. Definitely looking forward to episode 2, and for what's to come in the next few weeks as well. This is definitely not the only thing that's going to be coming up. I believe next after Secret Invasion, we have the Loki show should be coming up later this year. We have Daredevil Reborn next year as well. So there's a lot of shows coming up. Definitely looking forward to those movies this year. We got the Marvels later on this year. We got a movie before the end. I feel like we do. I have to look that up. I should have been more prepared, but I'll be more prepared next time.
They can just change the schedule again, so I don't know. I can't.
Yeah, they keep changing it. That's why I'm a little off on what's next, because they keep switching things around. Maybe it's what's my man name? Deadpool 3. Deadpool 3 is coming out. Yeah,
I think they did move that up because
they moved it up.
There's so much going on with all
the writer strike. Yeah,
and other stuff.
Yeah. So yeah. Final question. What did you think of the AI renderings being used in the title sequences at the beginning and end?
Well, first of all, shame on the world for thinking that they just took somebody's job. That's first of all, because Marvel does nothing without a point or a purpose.
Yeah.
So I think it's ugly. I don't really like it, but you know what I'm saying? But I get it, and I think it's cool because I play around with that stuff. So I think it's cool that they were able to actually incorporate AI artwork into the show and also give it a purpose and a meaning that is exactly what it means, because it is terrifying in what the image is depicted, but also what it means for us as human beings being replaced by a computer or artificial intelligence or foreign intelligence. So I think the fact that they were able to take something that is literally tearing people up right now as far as fear and capitalize it on it in that way, especially since I'm so very much so into it and very on top of my AI usage. That's dope.
No, I definitely agree. And like you said, people are up in arms, like, oh my God, we should be upset about this, and Marvel, shame on you, and this, that. And it's like, no, Marvel, like you said, Marvel doesn't do anything without a reason, and like you said, it was definitely to play on the fear, because that's what this show is supposed to be about, playing on the fear. Or people, should be in fear of what's replacing them. So yeah, I definitely agree that was a perfect move. And it couldn't have came at a better time, especially with the way the world is. But it's also kind of like a statement for that they're making. Like, if you're not afraid now, be afraid, because this is what's coming. And don't take this lightly, right? So
the one that I kept looking at that kept freaking me out was the one of the White House, like the steal of the White House, and I just kept saying, y'all better not be in the White House.
right. That, I think that's another reason I had my theory that there's somebody, and it's not just the president. I feel like there's somebody else in there. I feel like I should go ahead and say it, but I'm not sure. But maybe I'll see what happens in episode 2. But let's just say I think it's one of our friends in the White House that's been replaced. So we'll see if I'm right when we come back next week. So but yeah, outside of that, I saw that your one of your favorite actors. His new show is, or his new season of his new show is coming out. New trailer just dropped for The Witcher season 3. Um, uh, have you been watching The Witcher?
Yeah, I love it. I'm
Okay.
sad I'm just Henry Cavill just having a bad time right now in life. He's just having a real, but he seems like he's such a nice guy. He's just getting, and he's such a nerd, and he's so into nerd culture.
Yeah.
He plays video games, he reads the books, he's so dedicated to these um properties, and
Right.
he just getting did real dirty
Right.
because of politics. And it's
Hmm.
sad, that he getting did dirty, and it's not working in these other people's favor either.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's the sad part. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he probably just been at home, building his computers,
Right.
playing his
Right.
games, crying
Hmm.
because he
Got to figure out how to work AI.
right, because he has not had a fair shake. And I mean, he's a white man, so he's gonna be all right.
Yeah, he
But
gonna be all right.
yeah, it's just, it's messed up because I mean, he fit those roles perfectly, both of
Yeah,
them. And he
indeed.
respected it. He understood it. He could tell you about The Witcher. It's not
Right.
like Elizabeth Olsen and be like, "What's a tesseract?" Like, you know what I'm saying? No, he can tell you everything about this
Right.
property as well.
Exactly. Exactly. Yep. So yeah. So until next time, we're gonna be definitely looking forward to the next episode, and then I have some more information on what's to come in the coming months in the MCU as well. But until then, Chevy, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at my Instagram at S the Superstar, on Twitch at Chevy the Superstar, on Twitter at S the Superstar as well. Yeah, not streaming right now, currently trying to
All right,
rework
for
my
sure, for sure. And it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG, and Twitter, and Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Visit me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to, or williestyles.info for all my links. So yeah, until next time, make sure you guys check us out on gftradioshow.com for all our social links, including our links to all of our replays. So make sure you check that out. And join us over at Join the Conversation group on Facebook, facebook.com/group/GFT Join the Conversation. And make sure you listen free on demand 24/7 on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Apple Podcasts, or watch the video replays here on Twitch TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Appreciate you, Chevy. Appreciate all our commenters. Appreciate all our viewers. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. And until next time, we will see y'all later.